Howdy everyone, Lordy here with Lord's Lair, your source of out-of-this-world gaming and reviews. Today we're going to be looking at some brand new Marvel Legends. It's a brand new wave, just dropped. It's the Blackheart wave, or the Strange Tales wave, if you will. That wave consists of the Lilith, the Moon Knight, the Brother Voodoo, Hellstrom, Bloodstorm, Dracula, hellverine figure. So we're going to let you look at some box art and how they look in the box before we actually go into the out-of-box portion of the review. We're going to do it all together, so you're going to see it all right here in one video. So let's start. Looking at the hellverine, looks like he does come with the alternate claw accessories, and then on this side of the box there's not really much other than a window, just a little bit of art. It's the same art on the other side, and then it gives you a description of the character and the rest of the wave on the back there. So the description of that character states, while on a mission with Johnny Blaze to investigate a new Weapon Plus program, Wolverine becomes endued with darkness as the weapon of vengeance. So we'll break that open here in just a bit and let you guys see that, see how it looks out of box. Barcode on that figure is 5010-996-196798. Moving on right down the line, we're going to look at the Dracula figure. This is actually one of my favorites from this wave. I think it looks really good. Actually, the hellverine and this one probably are my favorite. Looking at it in box there, it does come with a number of accessories. The middle figure piece right here, alternate head, two alternate hands, and then the sword, and then the same kind of setup on all these boxes. You got box art on this side and a window on the other. It does give you a description of that character on the back, as well as the rest of the wave. That description states, a legendary vampire, Vlad Dracula, rules over the undead, spreading violence and terror on his quest for power. Barcode on this figure is 501-996-196859. Moving right down the line, guys, we're going to look at the Bloodstorm next. Her in box, as you can see, doesn't come with a whole lot of accessories, but does come with alternate hands and one head there, along with the Build-A-Figure piece. So she looks pretty good in box. Looking at the side there, it's just the same as the others. Get some box art, and then on the back does give a description there. A mutant and proficient thief, Duro Moreno, actually I don't know how to say the name, was targeted by Dracula and transformed into a vampire known as Bloodstorm. I never actually knew her real name. Moving right down the line, we're going to look at Hellstrom next. As you can see, he does come with alternate hands and his staff, along with the Build-A-Figure piece. Same on the sides, a little bit of box art. On the back, a description, and that states, half human, half demon, Damien Hellstrom uses his mystical powers and his knowledge of occult lore to defend humanity. Next is Brother Voodoo. I think we all know who Brother Voodoo is, but we'll read that description off here in just a moment after I show you the box. He does come with his staff, two effect pieces, and an alternate hand, along with the Build-A-Figure piece. This looks similar to the box set one, if I'm not mistaken, that had that on his face, like the skull on his face. Looking at the back with the description. Jericho Drum carries his family's legacy when he embraces his destiny to become a master of mystical powers, Brother Voodoo. Alright, so next down the line is the Moon Knight figure. This is a really good Moon Knight figure. It looks it anyway. Haven't got it out of the box just yet. But as you can see there, he does come with the head Build-A-Figure piece. He's got the throwing star moons. He does have the cross, and then two alternate hands. And then on the side does have the box art in the window, just like the others, and a description on the back. After a near-fatal encounter with an ancient Egyptian temple, mercenary Mark Spector agrees to become the earthly avatar for the deity Khonshu. So right down the line, this is the last one, guys. This is Lilith. And as you can see, she does come with two alternate hands and the Build-A-Figure piece. So not much with this figure. Actually, I think it may be the least amount of accessories with any of the figures. It does appear to be. Maybe other than Hellverine. I think Hellverine only had two alternate hands as well. Looking at the side, does have the window and then the art. So on the back, does give you a description of the character, and that states, Lilith, the goddess of Underworld, is on a millennium-long quest to conquer the world as the mother of demons. I did not give you guys a barcode on the last three, I don't think, so we're going to backtrack just a bit. Barcode on this one on the Lilith is 5010996196842. Going back to that Moon Knight, the barcode is 5010996196804. Brother Voodoo is 5010996196873. And back to Hellstrom here is 5010996196866. I'm pretty sure I gave you the other ones, just in case I did miss Storm though. Go ahead and give you that, guys, or the Bloodstorm, sorry. 5010996196811. Pretty sure I did give you guys the rest of them, the first two. All right, so we're gonna pop them open, see what you guys think. All right, guys, so we've got a lot of our articulation, a lot of accessories to go over, so we're going to try to do this 3 at a time with the rotation. So starting off with Lilith and Brother Voodoo and Moon Knight. So as we talked about, Lilith is probably one of the ones that have the least accessories, her and hellverine. She just came with 2 alternate hands, talking about articulation on her, as the standard range of motion on the ankle pivot, you know, back and forth, and then kind of like the pivot motion that they get. Double jointed knees, and then a thigh cut. It's a fixed waist, but it does have a rocker at the torso area. And then moving on to the hands, she does have standard range of motion on all of her hands. It's just in and out, no up and down. Although there are some characters in this wave that do have up and down. Double jointed elbows, no butterfly joint, just standard range of motion at the shoulders. And then the head articulation, it's kind of lacking in the up and down motion due to her hair. It's as far up as you get, and then that's as far down as you get. So not a whole lot of motion with her. But we're going to move on to the Moon Knight. As you can see, he does come with a number of accessories. He's got 2 with him. He's got the cross. He's got the staff. He has 2 alternate hands. Both of those that he has on are gripping hands like that. And then he also has a fist hand for each side. And then the only other accessories with him is going to be the Moon Knight throwing stars. Talking about articulation with him, it does have the standard range of motion with the ankles, double jointed knees. I don't think that there is there is a boot cut. There's a boot cut, and then there's also a thigh swivel. And then at the waist, there is a swivel, and then you got an ab crunch. Then moving on to the hands, his open hands do have up and down movement. They don't have in and out. And then double jointed elbows, butterfly joints, and then a range of motion with the head that is all the way up and all the way down. Then his other hands are just standard in and out. Moving on to the Brother Voodoo, which I think may have the most accessories minus Dracula. He does have his purple effects. They go around the wrist, 2 alternate hands, his staff, and then talking about some articulation with him, he does have the standard range of motion on the ankles, and then he also has a boot cut, double jointed knees, cut at the thigh. He does have a swivel at the waist, and then an ab crunch just like Moon Knight did, and no butterfly joints, but standard range of motion on these hands. They're in and out. And then these hands that he actually has on, which is the gripping hands, are up and down. And then the head articulation, that is all the way up, and that is all the way down. He actually does have a fair amount of head articulation. Surprising. I didn't expect him to have that much head articulation with the big hair. So we're going to set it up and go on to the next few, guys. Alright guys, we're going to move along with the review here. Hopefully they stay standing during this. So full rotation on these figures, probably going to have several so you can see them. So starting off with the Bloodstorm there, she has the mohawk, head sculpt, She also has the more laid-back mohawk head sculpt, and then 2 alternate hands, which do have standard range of motion in and out. And then the other hands that she has on are more like claw hands. They also are in and out. Articulation on her, standard range of motion on the ankle pivots. She does have heels, just so you guys are aware. I'm not a big fan of heels on figures because you can't stand them very well. And then she does not have a boot cut. I thought she did. Double jointed knees, thigh swivel, and then swivel at the waist, and a rocker on the torso. She only has single jointed elbows, so that's about as far as you get on that. And head articulation, that is all the way up and all the way down. So we're going to move right down the line here, starting with Hellstrom. As you can see, he does come with his staff and 2 alternate accessories as well. Just closed-fisted hands. So articulation on this figure, again, standard ankle joints that come on most Marvel Legends. I can't think of any that don't have that. And then other than large figures, it does have a boot cut, double jointed knees, a cut at the thigh, a waist swivel, a waist or a ab crunch, and he also has butterfly joints moving down the arm, double jointed elbows, and then he also has all of his hands are in and out motion, no up and down. And then range of motion on the head, all the way up, all the way down. Moving right down the line, guys, we're going to do the hellverine next. These, other than the Build-A-Figure, are my most anticipated figures. So hellverine's come around there. I went ahead and put his alternate accessories on him because I can't think of anybody that would not put the claws on him, because that looks absolutely diabolical. Looks amazing. And then the flames making the Wolverine flares even cooler, I think. And then these are his alternate accessories. Starting at the bottom again, he does have the standard range of motion on the ankle pivot. He does have a boot cut, double jointed knees, boot, thigh swivel, and then also a waist swivel, ab crunch, butterfly joints, double jointed elbows, and then standard on both hands. And then a range of motion on the head is all the way up and all the way down. So actually pretty identical to the Hellstrom as far as articulation goes. Alright guys, so here's the Dracula. As you can see, he's doing like the Michael Jackson lean. He was a little bit harder and he just went back a little bit harder to get standing in my opinion. The Lilith was also kind of hard to stand, and the Moonknight was probably the worst of the wave. But this one does have probably tied with Brother Voodoo for most accessories, I think. Voodoo may have beat him, actually. So as you can see, he does have the gripping hand on this side, and then more of a claw hand on that side. And he also has a fist for each side, alternate hands. He has an alternate head, non-screaming head. And let me tell you, this freaked me out. As soon as I got it out of the package, that did that. But it does pop right back in, just in case that happens to you guys. And it also twists for whatever reason. Maybe you want to have somebody capture him upside down and it can hang. It also does it on this as well. I would bet that it does that because those are 2 different sculpts on the back, so you can change those out. The only other accessory he comes with is his sword. Just talking about articulation with this figure. Standard range of motion at the ankles, and then double jointed knees. There is no boot cut on this figure. There is a thigh cut though. Moving on to the waist, it is a fixed waist, but I would bet he does have a rocker. He does have a rocker. It's really high up though. That's weird. It's usually more like in this area, but it's like here. So he does have a rocker to where you can rock his body around. And then at the shoulder, there is no butterfly joint, just so you guys can see that. And he does only have single jointed elbows. And then all of his hands have the standard range of motion in and out. Articulation on the head. I'm sure that the hair probably gets in the way a little bit. It's all the way up with the hair down, but if you move the hair, he actually can look a little bit further up. And then this is all the way down. He has that new style peg too, where they can't look up too much, but they can have like side-to-side gestures. Alright guys, so for the moment you've all been waiting for, the Build-A-Figure is up next. Alright guys, so starting a full rotation on Blackheart here. First thing, super hard to stand, I will say that. I mean, Seth just barely touched him and he fell over. I am actually holding him up with his tail right now. I did kind of expect that was going to be the case with him, and there he went again. So he's going to need a lot of room on the shelf to actually stand, I would say. That might have him a little bit better. But barely enough room on my turntable to actually have him stand. So starting off with some articulation, pretty standard. It is, oh, is it? Nope, he just has front and back movement on his feet. Double jointed knees, then a swivel at the thigh. He does have a crunch and a rocker. That's one of my favorite combos. It's kind of similar to the Venom we got when the first movie came out. Butterfly joints, double jointed elbows, and then centered range of motion on the hands, in and out. And then the alternate fist hand is the same way, in and out. Up all the way, down all the way. And I'm going to get the other Blackheart figure just so you guys can see a size comparison of him. Now, see how easy I just got him to stand? That was off of the turntable, so maybe it'll be a little bit better when you have more room. This has been a long anticipated figure for me, just because I got this figure when it first released, and I distinctly remember getting him. They are very, very similar in size, I can say that. As you can see, the old one was like an off blue, and this one is all black though. Very, very similar in size. Alright guys, that has it. I hope you liked this review. If you did like this review, please leave me a like on the video. Sub on the page would be great. I'm all the time reviewing Marvel Legends. From time to time, I'm doing some gaming videos. So if you do like this sort of stuff, please leave me a sub. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Thank you for tuning in. This is Lordy from Lord's Lair, your source of out of this world gaming and reviews.